Why is it so important to learn Chassidus?
This question is what we call a loaded question. There's a lot that could and should be discussed about it. We'll only try and touch the points of it, and of course that's something that has to be spoken at length. The first general concept is that every person must have something that inspires him and arouses him to get excited to serve Hashem. And the reason for that is simple. Hashem created us in a way that we are in a physical world where we are removed from spirituality. Our reality in our lives is not spirituality. When I wake up in the morning, the first thought that naturally comes to my mind is not Maidani and not Chachris and not Krishma, but going back to sleep and then my coffee or my breakfast. Not because I'm a bad person, because that's the nature that the Eibishter created me with. He put me into a physical, material world, and he wants me to recognize godliness. There's the famous line, the story of Rabbi Yitzchak of Berditchev. The Rebbe told it on more than one occasion, that Rabbi Yitzchak of Berditchev said to the Eibishter, he says, what's the kunz? You're putting a person in a world where in front of his eyes he has all the taivas elam hazeh, and you write in a book in the Reishis Chachma about Gan Eden and Gehenim and Elokus, etc. Why don't you try the opposite? Put a person in a world and in front of his eyes, put Gan Eden and Gehenim, put Elokus in front of his eyes. And in the Reishis Chachma you'll write about Taivas Elam Hazeh, about the desires of this world. Well, let's see how many people will do Avedas then. And that's the general idea. Our reality is not godliness. Now, therefore, we need something which will cause us and enable us to connect to something deeper and to something greater. And there's various ways to do it. One way is Musar. Musar teaches us how bad the physical world is. It teaches us how bad it is to do an Aveda, to do something that the Eibishter doesn't want. There is Chakira, which teaches us the greatness of Elokus. It teaches us the beauty of godliness. Both of those, however, are still limited, because when I learn how bad the world is, I'm only understanding how bad the world is. It doesn't necessarily inspire me that I should become part of Hashem. And the same thing, even if I'm excited about godliness, it still doesn't necessarily connect me to it. Whereas Chassidus doesn't teach me about how bad the world is or how great Elokus is. It teaches me how everything is created for one thing and everything is one purpose and one goal, and it was all created by Hashem for the purpose of making Adira B'Tachtonim. It makes me understand how my existence, my physical existence, my material existence is all part of Hashem and created in order to serve Hashem. Chassidus explains to me the oneness of Hashem. Chassidus explains to me how everything is Elokus. Chassidus explains to me the beauty of why my purpose and my goal in the world. The more I learn it, the more I can learn how to go out of the mud, and on the contrary, how to elevate the world and the physicality that I'm in. And that's the idea. It says in the Torah of Yodata Hayoim Vashivoisa Levavecha. When we know about Hashem, that Hashem Hu Elikim, then it makes my heart become inspired. Know Hashem, and then we can serve Him with a complete heart, etc., etc. But that's the general idea and purpose. Chassidus lifts me up, but not only lifts me up, it lifts me with the whole physical world up into a new existence where not only am I higher than the world, but where the world itself is for the purpose of serving the Eibishter.